It's Major League Baseball from Safeco Field. American League West versus East in this final matchup of a three-game series as the Seattle Mariners take on the Baltimore Orioles. Glad to have you along. Mike Benton with you at Safeco Field, high atop home plate. So this evening on the mound, it'll be right-hander Mike Leake for the Mariners, 8-9. He's got a 4.25 earned run average. He'll be up against Andrew Kashner of the Orioles, a 4-13 record and a 4.86 earned run average as well. Mike Leake's last timeout was against the Oakland Athletics. He took the loss, allowing 6 earned runs and 11 hits in 4 1/3 innings as well. Last time Kashner took the mound, that was on the 31st of August against the Kansas City Royals. He also took the loss, 4 earned runs on 9 hits in 5 1/3 innings of play as well. Post-game coverage rolls on here at Safeco Field as we get one more check of the out-of-town scoreboard. In interleague action, the Boston Red Sox take out the host Atlanta Braves in a 9-8 victory, and the Red Sox claim their 97th win of the season as their bats come alive with 11 hits in the ball game to edge the Braves, who fall to 76-63. The Indians at home knock out the Kansas City Royals in a 3-1 win. Corey Kluber picking up his Major League best 18th win of the season. The St. Louis Cardinals edging the host Washington Nationals 7-6 the final. Matt Adams homering twice against his former team to lead the way for St. Louis, who racked up 15 hits on the evening. The Pittsburgh Pirates edging the visiting Cincinnati Reds in a 3-2 victory, as the Pirates only need 6 hits in the ballgame to get it done. The Reds held to 2 runs on 11 hits. The Toronto Blue Jays, a 10-3 win over Tampa, and the visiting Rays only able to tack up 6 hits. The Blue Jays get 10 runs on 16 hits, and they climb back to an even 500 mark at home as well. Phillies at the Marlins, and Miami with no problems handling Philadelphia in a 2-1 victory. The Marlins only needing a little over 2 hours to get the ball game completed, and they had 2 runs on 4 hits in the victory. The New York Mets wipe out the Los Angeles Dodgers 7-3 the win, as the Mets pick up 7 runs on 14 hits, and the Dodgers held to just 3 runs on 3 hits as well. The Cubs of the Brewers and Chicago, a 6-4 win to pick up their 82nd win on the campaign. Kyle Schwarber hit a home run, one of 13 hits the Cubs had in the ball game. The Angels take out the Texas Rangers 9-3 for the win. 9 runs on 16 hits the Halos had. Shohei Ohtani with 2 home runs in the game, tying the mark for most home runs by a Japanese-born rookie, and the Texas Rangers falling to 32-43 at home, held to just 3 runs on 6 hits as well. The Detroit Tigers, a 10-2 triumph on the road over the Chicago White Sox, as they had 16 hits in that one, and the White Sox held to just 2 runs on 5 hits in the ball game. And that flyout closing Diaz's Major League leading 53rd save of his career. He is 9 away now from tying Francisco Rodriguez's Major League record of 62 saves in one season. So the Mariners take the victory 5-2 over Baltimore. Seattle gets 5 runs on 10 hits and 3 errors. The Orioles 2 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Mike Leake picks up the win. Now 9-9 on the season. And for the 3rd time in 4 games, he goes 6 innings or longer to pick up the win. Andrew Kashner takes the loss, now 4-14 on the season. Edwin Diaz picks up the save, 53rd of the season as well. The Mariners get 3 home runs in the ballgame. Mitch Haniger, 23rd of the year. Nelson Cruz, 34th. And Denard Span is 11th on the campaign. Welcome, Hall of Fame voice Bob Miller. You're on Voices Up Close. I am very, very glad to have you today.
Well, thank you, Mike. It's nice to be with you, and it was nice to enjoy our association when you were down here in Southern California, and I am very proud of you to see the advances that you have made in broadcasting, and I'm sure there's many more great moments ahead for you.
Thank you very much, sir. And you touched on it when I first got into this business, and you were certainly a big part of that, and the drive right behind me to, make this a career. So I'm thrilled to know when to have you join me here on this. First off, I begin. Last Los Angeles Kings game you watched was what?
Oh, gee, let me see. What was that? It was right before I think it was an afternoon game, and I can't remember the exact date. I'd have to look and see what that would have been. let's see, March 12th is when the season was put on pause.
Yeah.
So I think I was at an afternoon game, probably around a game. I was going to go to a game against Anaheim on the 13th of March, but they had closed the season down for the time being on the 12th. So the last time I went to a game would have been, let me go even back into February. I think it was against Pittsburgh on the 26th of February. And my wife and I had gone to about 12 games this year before they put the season on pause.
Well, it's great to hear your voice once again, and during a time like this, and really any time, a level of comfort that we can certainly embrace. How often do you go back and look at old tapes, whether it might be from 2012, 2014, or even 1993?
Well, that's part of the pleasure I'm having right now, staying home and with this lockdown and no games being played. Fox Sports West here is replaying a lot of all of the playoff wins that the Kings had back in 2012 and 14. Played the games back in '93 when the Kings had a great series against Toronto to go to the Stanley Cup final against Montreal. And I really enjoy not only watching those games, but seeing the difference in the style of play then and the style of play now. I watched a game in 1993 against Toronto. I said, you could have called hooking every 5 seconds. I mean, it was wide open. Anything went, and they put the whistles away and let them play. But so I've had fun going back and looking at those games from years ago.
If you could call one game in Kings history all over again besides the 2 Stanley Cup titles, which one would it be?
I think it would be the Game 7 in Toronto that year in '93 when the Kings had to win the Game 7 to go to the Stanley Cup final. And just the feeling that we were so close to the first Stanley Cup final in our history, and knowing what was on the line and the game, it was just such an exciting game. It was even more exciting than the Stanley Cup finals that year. But I would say that game against Toronto.
I want to just kind of play a little bit of what if. And I remember how close and how tight that game was. I know that maybe it felt like for some folks who were associated with it in the press box, you were sweating bullets looking at the final seconds tick off the clock in a game like that. What if Toronto ties that game? Likelier to happen, Wayne Gretzky gets 4 goals in the game, scores in overtime, or an unsung hero wins it and lifts the Kings into the Stanley Cup final?
Well, I wouldn't bet against Gretzky getting his 4th goal the way that game was going. Hard to bet against him, but we had some players on that team that were outstanding, and Tony Granato and other guys on that team. So any one of them, it didn't matter to me who scored, as long as it was one of the Kings that scored to win that game. And they couldn't believe it when the Kings did win that game in Toronto, that they felt they wanted, of course, Toronto to play Montreal in the Stanley Cup final, because in those days they were in different conferences, so they could play each other, and the Kings ruined that. And there's that great story, maybe you've heard it, about the morning of a Game 7 in Toronto. Wayne Gretzky is going down to the lobby of the hotel in the elevator to go to the morning skate, and in the elevator is a security guard. And Wayne says to him, "How's it going today?" And the guy said, "Well, it's going fine this morning, but tonight, after that game, my job will be so tough that the city will be going crazy." And Wayne thinks the Leafs are going to win this game. So the elevator gets to the main floor. Wayne steps out, and he stops, and he turns around, and he said to the security guy, "Don't worry about your job tonight at 10:30. And the guy said, "Why?" Wayne said, "Because mine starts at 7:30. And went out and scored the hat trick, and Kings win the game by 1 goal, although it was so close. And buzzing around the King net in the final minute of the game, the Maple Leafs had the puck, and they had so many chances to tie it. And you talk about sweating bullets. I was wringing wet by the end of that game. It wasn't from being thrown in the shower.